Okay, we'll start in about 1 minute. I'm going to mute everybody. Yeah, I'm going to mute everybody, but Gaga, you need to unmute yourself.
Okay. I think I'm.
Okay.
Okay. Should we start, Joe?
Yeah. I think basically we're only missing one person or two, so we can. They'll catch up if they come on. We'll admit them. So,
okay.
Gaga is on site, and I thought this was Jakarta, but it's actually Yogyakarta.
Yogyakarta. That's right. Yes.
And maybe you can explain the difference between Jakarta and Yogyakarta.
I will. Yes,
okay.
of course.
Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Gagat Handoyo, and I'm an Indonesian, and currently I'm in Yogyakarta. I will show you about the map where we are now. Yeah, I'll share the photo. Wait a second. Okay. So here it is. This is the map of Indonesia, my country, and it's located between Malaysia and Singapore in the southeast of Asia, between Southeast Asia and Australia. So during the tour, about for 1.5 hours, I will show you about my city. My city is Yogyakarta. If you can see down here in Java Island, there's Yogyakarta, and Jakarta is actually on the west part of the island of Java, and it is currently the capital city of Indonesia, of the Republic of Indonesia. But Yogyakarta itself is one of a special province out of the 33 provinces in all over Indonesia. So in about 1.5 hours, I will show you about a little bit about culture and also the uniqueness of Yogyakarta, because Yogyakarta is the only province in Indonesia that is headed by the king, not by the governor, but by the reigning king. So okay, my name is Gagat, and then okay, I've been a tour guide since 2009 in Yogyakarta, but actually I was born in Jakarta, the capital city, going there until I finished my university study, and then go to Bali for about 1.5 years, and then reside in Yogyakarta since 2001. So it's been 19 years, and it's been a very, what we call it is a very happiness time, because Yogyakarta, unlike the other city of Indonesia, Yogyakarta is quite calm, and the people are very, very nice. And of course, the food is good, and then it's not that expensive compared to Jakarta. So Indonesia, okay, once again, I'll show you the map of Java. Okay, so this is Yogyakarta, yeah. This is the Java Islands, and when I said about Java or Javanese, please bear in mind that I'm talking about Java, yeah, not Japanese. But sometimes my tongue slip to Japanese, but we are not talking about the Japanese culture. We are talking about the Java culture. So the majority of Indonesia now is Muslim. About 80% of the population are Muslim, and a little part of it is Hindu and Buddhist, and also Catholic and Christian. But back in 9th centuries, when the history started in Java, on Java Island, most of the population there was Hindu people. Yeah. were Hindu people, and also Buddhists came later in about 10 centuries. And earlier I mentioned that Yogyakarta is a kingdom, yeah, one of the kingdom in Indonesia, and we were under the Dutch occupation for about 325 years. So the Dutch also influenced our culture, but mostly Hindu and Buddhism also influenced our culture, mostly. So even though this is the even though this is the wait, even though this is the I'll try to 1 second. I'll try to okay. So even though this is the Muslim kingdom, but the Hindu and the Buddhist influence are still there. So you can see this is the lamp pole. Yeah, this is the lamp pole in front of the palace. In front of the palace, actually, we are now in the palace area. Down there is the palace area. Sorry, down there is the palace area. Yeah, with the square, and then the palace is over there in the far. This is the end of the Malioboro Street. The important thing. The important street in Yogyakarta. But again, I will show you about the mixed culture. Yeah, this is the lamppost. Yeah, and you can see that the ornaments here is actually representing the concept or the beliefs in Hindu, Buddhist, and Muslim.
Hello.
Okay, so for example, up here you can see the red ornaments. It is representing the tooth. Sorry, the tooth of that is believed in one of the belief in Hindu philosophy, yeah, about the strength and also the the power. Yeah, down here you can see that this is the ornament down here down here. This is the lotus flower that is important. That is the important. Sorry, lotus flower is here. This is the important flower in Buddhism. And down here, this is imitates or uh, similar to the Arabic wordings, yeah, representing the Muslim. So it is the three religions is what influenced the royal policies and also our culture in Indonesia. Okay, so now we are going to walk and going up to the 0 point of the city. You see in front of us, this is the gate. Used to be the wooden gate to enter the kingdom, the palace. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, you can write down, or I don't know, Joel, what is the culture in this group? Are they allowed to ask me directly, or it is moderated? So please, from what I see in the beginning, I think that this is a very fun group that's been traveling all together. So you perhaps have your own your own culture, yeah, in the tour. So I just follow what is it with the group. Okay. So in front of us down there, this is the 1934 building that used to be the park.
How to communicate with the people should be chat.
Sorry. Okay, in front of us is the part of the museum, the State Museum, the National Museum of Yogyakarta. We call it the Sono Budaya Museum. It was built in 1934. And he has a very fast collections. Yeah. Maybe someday we can do a tour, visit, and look what's inside that museum. Okay, we are now to the next of these. There's a lot of people. There's going to be a vaccination in this post office. Okay, now we're maybe you can hear the song. Yeah, this is the Japanese song in local language. So our national language is Bahasa Indonesia, but each part of this island, they have their own local language. Like this one, that the one that was singing here is this in Japanese. Okay, so now we are in a 0 kilometer, 0 point of the city. And up there to the north, going up there is the main street, the important street in history and also in the culture, actually, because it has a lot of philosophy. We're going to visit there later. And in here, I'll show you around. In here, you can see this is the colonial architectures, the buildings with the colonial architectures, because we are a tropical country. So the Dutch, when they built this, they have big windows, yeah, big windows, and also the ventilation hole is a very a lot of ventilation hole because to cool down the buildings inside, because during the hot season, which is between April to September, the temperature can be as high as 30, 37, 36, 37 during the day. But in the evening, it could be dropped to 14, 19 degrees, because during that hot season, it is winter in Australia. So we got that cold wind coming from the south. Now it is around 27 degrees, 27, 28 degrees, yes. It is a very beautiful morning here in Jakarta. And the sun is shining up, very warm for me.
Yeah, why is there
today
so
is,
many motorcycles? Why are there so many motorcycles?
Motorbikes. Yeah, motorbikes is the common transportation in Yogyakarta, especially in Yogyakarta. Because to get a motorbike, we can get it by installments, and it takes only about 3 million as a down payment. And then so every month we can pay between 500,000. 500,000 is perhaps around 45 US dollar a month. And the down payment, 3 million, is about it's less than 300. No, it's around 200 US dollar. So it's very cheap. And also the government, the provincial government, is struggling with the public transportation. So we do have now a very comprehensive transportation system with the bus. And also you can see here the becak, yeah, this is public transportation. But most of the people here lives outside the city. The public transportation didn't reach that area, so they have to have something for their transportation. And motorbike is the cheapest option for them.
Are all these people going to work? There's no, everything is like their people are just going everywhere they please. There's no traffic signals.
Sorry, Joe, can you repeat?
There-
Sorry.
It's just like everybody's going anywhere and any place. I mean, there's no traffic signals or,
Yeah, it's the traffic can be well. We just finished the rush hours. In our rush hours, because we started to work here in Yogyakarta at 8, and later the finish at 4. Yeah, but people do travel a lot between. I mean, during the days they have. We can see that they do have some uh, errands to do. Yeah, and also take their children to the school. And Yogyakarta is actually the tourism center for Indonesian. So Indonesian like to come here, and to go around, they like to rent the motorbike. To rent the motorbike is about 50,000 per day, about less than $5 a day. So they can have their own transportation for 24 hours. And the gasoline here in Indonesia is about less than $1. It's about 75 cents per liter. We use the liter to measure the, the gasoline, yeah? Okay. So here's the post office. This one is built in 1929 and used to be the post office for the colonial government. You can see the big windows, yeah, also similar here. And let's see if we can get in and see the interior. It has a very beautiful lobby. So orange is I think it's kind of like a color of the post office. So this is the main lobby now. And up there you can see the stained glasses. Okay. Something wrong with okay. So that's the stained glasses, yeah. The lobby. And we have the chandelier from 1920s. And now it's become and this marble is actually the original one, yeah. The one here on the wall. But the floor is the new one. Okay. So let's go from this side. You can see it. I'm so glad that the government now has been almost not fully successful with the anti-corruption program. So now the government has a lots of money to be spent for the restoration and preservations of these old buildings that we have here. Okay. In front of us is the banyan tree. Banyan tree in Indonesia word is beringin. Beringin has a meaning that it was give the people like a sanctuary for the people. But back then, the Hindu people they worship. I mean, they pay respect to this kind of trees. This can be. It is the family of ficus, and this can be a very big trees. Yeah, with the hanging roots or airy roots, then will become the trunk of the trees. What is different here? I can show you that the bones and the leaves here is supposed to be down here, like this one. But the one that is planted in the palace area, the bones are on top of it. So it was reversed. So people said that this is kind of like a commoner's banyan trees, while the royal banyan trees is usually in a palace complex. Okay, so I'm going to cross the street, and crossing the street in Yogyakarta needs okay. You need a good concentration for this because we don't have like you have the time for the crosser for the walkers, the pedestrians, yeah, where they allow us to walk to cross the street. Here we just have to find our own our own luck to cross the street. Okay, so here it is. This is the building that we saw earlier, yeah. Built in 1929. It used to be the insurance office, the Dutch insurance office, but now it was owned by well, not owned, but occupied or used by our national bank or state bank, BNI. And in the middle down there used to be a fountain, but the people of Yogyakarta is quite poor at that time after the war, so that they don't have access to the water. So they use the fountain for them to wash and shower and taking a bath. And then so the government decided to, well, not the government, but but there was a huge earthquake in 1960s, and then so it was damaged, and then so that the government decided not to put it back again.
Excuse me, Gaga. Gaga,
Yes.
there seems to be a lot of, is that street noise? It seems to be some noise, background noise.
That's the singing. That's the traditional singing, because of the government of this the provincial government is decided to what is it to register our city to become the cultural city, the heritage city and then get the certification from the UNESCO. And then so they try to put the what is it culture aspect as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
So here it is. Okay, sorry. So that's the old pictures from 1920s of this building that we saw earlier. Yeah, like in the middle, you can see that's like a pole, the lamp post, where usually they have like a traffic controllers standing there. But at that time, it is we only have like a bicycle and horse cart and a very small amount of cars. Okay, can you hear me clearly, or the sound of the music is too
Yeah,
loud?
the music is a little distracting, the noise, the background noise.
Okay. So here it is again, the post office. Yeah, and I think it is the same with everywhere in the world, that the 0 point of the city is measured from the post office. Okay, so let's start because we are standing next to the speaker. Okay, let's go up. The street of Malioboro, it has the philosophy of itself. Yeah. For example, like here, you can see the vegetations that is planted here is this is the tamarind trees. It is actually the new trees, and then the old trees is over there. We're going to cross the street later. The tamarind seeds, because in Javanese, tamarind is asem, A-S-E-M, asem. Yeah, asem is sour taste is asem. But in the philosophy, asem means mesem, M-E-S-E-M. Mesem means a smile. Yeah, so that's because this is like where the sorry, the trip, the road where the people going to meet their king, so they have to be happy. Yeah, and this is also the promise from the king to the people that they are going to taking care of the people, so that we are all can be a very happy community. Yes. We are now in front of the presidential palace. So the national government of Indonesia is the republic, and the head is headed by the president. And this is the presidential palace where we have back in 1940s 49, after the independence from the Dutch, Yogyakarta was the capital city of this country. Yeah, and then so we have this used to be the governor, the Dutch governor's residential area, and then was taken to be the presidential palace. About 43,000 meters square meters, and it is very beautiful actually. Okay, let me try to cross the street, yeah, so we can look it closer. Okay. So in front of us, we are in the gate, yeah, the entrance. And you see that in front of us, you can see this is the statue, the Dwarapala statue. Yeah? And it's actually Buddhist coming from the Buddhist culture. They always put this kind of statues in front of important buildings or important monuments to guard it, so that people with the bad intention used to be hopefully that they are afraid and they won't enter this area. In afar, you can see this is our national emblem, the Garuda, the birds. Yeah, it's like an eagle, our mythical eagles, in coming from the Hindu culture. Yeah, and this is our flag, the red and white flag. Okay. So this one is built in 1821, but then finished after around 1820. 24 and finished in 1832, because there was in around 1825 to 1830 there was a huge Java war. So the development of this building has to be halted or stopped. And over there is the pavilion. Now it's like the pavilion for the guests of this state guest. Yeah, it used to be the theater where it's like the hall, yeah, the ball where these where the aristocrat at that time during the colonial, they come here and then they do the dance and do some music and performance, yeah, kind of things. Okay, so here's the big banyan trees. You see that the air roots now has become the trunk of the trees. So across the presidential palace is the fort, Vredenburg Fort, yeah, or the Vredenburg uh, in Dutch language. It means peace, peaceful, and the peace fort. but used to be also named as the Rustenburg, where the army got to rest. This one is built in around 1814, 1812, 1814, by the king number 2 of Yogyakarta at that time, by the request from the Dutch governor. So that's actually at that time. So here it is. Yeah, this is the fort, and down there we just saw the palace actually. Yeah, down there is the palace. Remember the gate? Yeah, the whole of the gates. So that's actually the request to build this fort is actually to spy the activities in the palace. So the king has to find a creative way for them to be able to practice on the war. Yeah, practices on the self-defense and the war. So that's the king creates a dance, a traditional dance. It's actually for the troops or for the army to kind of like a yoga where they what is it, develop the awareness, yeah, develop the awareness, but also the ability to use the weapon. So that's by doing that. So the Dutch won't stop the activities, the practice activities, because when they do the war practice on the square in front of the palace, the Dutch usually stop it because they don't want our army to become strong. The development of Yogyakarta is kind of like a major activities for the colonial government at that time. So in 1920s, they built lots of buildings. Yeah, and as a thank you, the people of Yogyakarta present this tower clock. Yeah, the town clock. This is from the 1929. Okay, and this is I have an old pictures of it. Okay, this is the old pictures of this clock. Yeah, back in this one is taken in 1930. So in front of us is the center of the economics in Yogyakarta. In 1820s, we have Chinese people coming to Yogyakarta, and they actually initiate the tradings in Indonesia and also specifically in Yogyakarta. So most of them live in this along this street, and the street has become like a center of economy in Indonesia, in Yogyakarta. Yeah, and then we must thankful for them. And later you will see that is the houses here, the architecture is influenced by the Chinese architecture. So we're going to cross the street again, and so we can go to the market. Okay. This market is actually dated back, the location as the market dated back in 1756 when the king first built this area as the new capital city of the kingdom. But the buildings happened in 1929 during the great development in Yogyakarta. This is like our central market. We can find anything that you can think of. Indonesian version, yeah. I mean, like the fruits, we can find the furniture, utensils, and then the fabrics. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Here's another motorcycles, Joe and everybody. Then again, this is kind of like our cheapest mode of transportation. So I usually get a blank spot somewhere around here, but just let me know if I was lost. Okay, so here's our traditional cloth here. This is, we call it lurik. It's made of what is it? Hand. It was made by hand, and also the pictures. And lurik here is actually the commoner's cloth that we are able to buy. And here is a sample of batik. And saya Bu, okay. Boleh tak filmin? Okay. So here's the sample of the batiks, and it was quite what is it? A complicated process, yeah, for the batik, because they have to put the wax, cover the wax so that it won't be colored, and they have to color using the usually the natural coloring agent. Yeah. So it's the batik. And berapa harganya ini? Okay. Okay, so for 2 meters long, this cloth is about 95,000, which is around $7 to $8 US. Yeah. And then people usually to make it as a batik shirts. Yeah. The trading activities in Jakarta usually start around 9. So they just started. Hi, Joe. Are you still with me? Yeah. Joe? Hello? Are you guys still with me? Joe? Hello? 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 Joe?
I'm with you.
Okay, Linda, thank you. Sorry, I mean, so we are now in the front of the market, yeah? It was called pasar. It's our local language for market. Bring harjo. Bring is derived from the word bring in, the trees that we saw earlier. And harjo means prosperous. So this is this area used to be like a banyan trees forest or bring in forest. And then so it becomes the name of this market, so that with the hope that they will bring the prosperity to the people. Yeah, and down here, underneath here is the Japanese alphabet. The Japanese alphabet for Pasar Bring Harjo, or Bring Harjo Pasar. Okay, so used to be very crowded here. Yeah, a lot of street foods. Hello. Okay, I'll show you some pictures from last month. Oh, sorry. Wait. So this one is in front of this market actually. Yeah, during the night, it's full with food stalls. So where we can eat our traditional food like gudeg, yeah, the green jackfruit cooked in a coconut milk, and then also other variety like this one. This is the, we call it pecel. It is the vegetables, the cooked vegetables, and then it's served with the peanut butter. Sorry, peanut butter, not peanut butter, peanut sauce. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it was served with the peanut sauce, and in front of it you can see the chicken, and also far the brown one is the gudeg. Yeah, the green jackfruit that is cooked with the coconut milk. Okay, here in front of us you can see the Chinese architectures. Yeah, you can see the roof, and this is actually the mosque, belong to the former mayor of the city. And this yeah, and it's maintained the facade of this the buildings around here are supposed to be kept as it is. Yeah, and we have like the governor's regulations regulated that we have to keep the facades of the buildings on the street. Okay. Let's see if we can see some of the classic here. The small alleys here. There's actually our local snacks here. The bakpia. Boleh lihat? Boleh. So this is the bakpia. This is the snacks, our snacks. It's a pie, and inside is isinya apa, Ibu? Oh, this one is the mung bean paste. Boleh tolong dibuka? Yeah. So this is the mung bean paste. Yeah, it's sweet, and then also they have the black beans inside. So this is our traditional snacks. Actually, we like to enjoy it with the tea in the evening. Harganya berapa? Harganya berapa? Okay, so for this one box of this bakpia is about 20,000, which is around $1.50 maybe ya. Okay. Aku minta yang itu aja, Bu. Okay. Nggak, aku minta yang itu aja. Nggak usah. Wait. 5.000 aja. So I'll buy some. So it's quite cheap to live here, but the one that is expensive is the land. Yeah, the land now is varies from between 1 million, the cheapest one, to more than 15 millions per square meters. Nggak usah. Oke, matur nuwun nggih, Bu. Oke. So yeah, I have this. Okay, so let's walk to the. So they have this. This is for the pipe, yeah. Oh, for the. Okay, so this is we have our traditional way to scratch our skin. Yeah, to scratch our skin. If we have fever, we like to scratch our skin on the back. Yeah, using this tools to help us. And then from the scratch, we believe that the air will go out, so that we can go back to be fresh and healthier. Okay. So here's some souvenirs. Yeah, usually made of the brass. And usually here around here, there's the lady who sells the banknotes, the old banknotes of Indonesia. Oh, here's the coin. There's some coins of old Indonesia. This is the coin where I grew up. It's 500 rupiah. At that time, back in 80s, when I was in the university, it was I can buy rice, my lunch with that coin. But now the coin is has no value. So this is from other countries. Yeah. Oh, this one is from during the 1701. The coin from during the colonial VOC. VOC is the Dutch trading company that first come to Indonesia, and they occupied the land, and then later was the later is the sebentar. So here's the coin, the Netherlands coins, 1921, from the 1921. So if you, and this is the 10 rupiah from 1974. This is when I was in elementary school. Yeah, I can buy candies, lots of candies with this coin. I remember. But now the 10 rupiah is nothing. Yeah. And here's the banknotes. The sample of the banknotes. This is 1,000 rupiah.
Original silver.
Oh,
William.
and this one is the original silver from the Willem, yeah, the Netherlands, the King of Netherlands. So 2.5 gulden. This one is the 2.5.
Ini Juliana.
This is the Juliana, Princess Juliana coin. Yeah, it's a 1 gulden.
Ini yang udah tua.
And this is when she was the Queen of Netherlands. It was 1 gulden.
Tahunnya ini
1929, from the 1929. Wow.
Ini 18 berapa? 07.
This one is 1807. Yeah. Okay, so
aku masih gadis.
ya banyak ya macamnya ya Pak. And also the lion head. This is the bell. Yeah, for the door. And lion is actually in Buddhism. It's a symbol of honesty. Yeah, not only the bravery but the honesty. Apa tuh itu?
Belandong.
Apa?
Belandong.
Oh, this is for the horse cart. It was actually pressed by the foot, ya. Pakai kaki ya?
Ya, pakai kaki.
Yeah, pressed by the foot. So the bell, it's very beautiful. Yeah, the cowbell. Okay, see here, this is the accessories for the bike, yeah, for the bicycle. Then this is the wayang, and then see, and here's the Garuda with the palace emblem. Yeah, this is the palace emblem, the royal emblem. And this is the deer. Yeah.
Ini miniatur sepeda.
You also have this bicycle miniature. Do you want to know the price? Okay, let's ask ya. Ini berapa harganya, Pak?
35.000.
It's about 35,000 each, yeah. So maybe it's around $2, $2.50, around $2.50.
One bell.
So here's the vendors. Asmanipun sinten, Pak? This is Mr. Harry. That's the old bell. You can see that's the they have the mark the year 1953. Ini dari mana barang-barangnya, Pak?
Iya, zaman dulu.
Bapak koleksi atau?
Kalau zaman dulu itu kan banyak apa waktu gempa itu.
Oh,
Kira-kira pada mungkin loncengnya pada dijual.
oh,
Mungkin.
okay. So according to him, according to Pak Heri, this is the bell from the church actually. Yeah, that was because of the earthquake in 1960s, as I mentioned before. It was collapsed, and then they replace it with a new one, and then snow become a collector's item. Okay, so let's walk to the other part. Matur nuwun, Pak. Okay. Sewe, Bu. Okay. I mentioned before that back in around 1750, yeah, 1820s, the Chinese people started to come and reside in this area, and they initiate the trading, and it's actually boost up the economics of Yogyakarta. Most of our incomes come from the what is it, the arts, yeah, from the arts. We have lots of batik makers, painters, and also the batik cloth can be expensive as expensive as 2 million, 3 million, 10 millions even. So it was the one that is handmade, made by hand, and then takes about 3 months or to 5 months to create one. So it can be as high as 10 million per 2 meters square. So that's the 10 million is about 100, around 80, not 80, more than 80s, yeah, I think, US dollar. So you can see here's the above, yeah. Some of the store here closed during the pandemic. It was pretty sad, but now the government has set aside some fundings to repaint the facade of these buildings, because we understand that tourism is also a big place in significant part in our economics for the Yogyakarta people, and then so that's we're trying to make the people come here to Jakarta, especially with the domestics here from other part of Indonesia. They like to come here. It is very quiet here. Today is Thursday, and usually in the evening they have like a street performance on Tuesday and Thursday. my time, yeah, our time like in Indonesia time. Now we are close to the Chinatown of the city. They just celebrate the Cap Gome, or the 15 days after the New Year's. Here's the gate, the Chinatown's gate.
Learn more about what get right back to you. Right now, Ukraine remains on very high alert as Russian forces continue to amass at its borders. President Zelensky now warns an invasion could be triggered at any moment. The latest satellite imagery shows new deployments northeast of Russia, just miles from the Ukrainian border. For the latest on what these military moves could mean, CNN military analyst, retired U.S. Army Major General Spider Marks is joining us right now. General, the satellite imagery shows that this new buildup within 10 miles of the Ukrainian border and less than 50 miles from the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. What does that tell you?
Yeah, well,
We've got, there's somebody, Helene, please mute yourself. Helene,
The world is getting scary, yeah, scarier with the war, the tension in around Ukraine. So here's the gate, yeah. But above there, even though this is the Kampung Ketandan, this is the Chinatown, but on top you can still see, wait. On top here, you can still see the royal emblem. Yeah, this is the royal emblem. This is the royal emblem. And that on these gates, in these gates. And down there is the Chinatown, but most of them has the store outside. Yeah, so this is only the residence. Okay, and here you can see some of the arts that we have that has become like a main commodity from Yogyakarta. Iya, Pak. Boleh sebentar, Ge? So they have the fan up there with the batik and wayang. Wayang is the puppet over there. Yeah. And here's the wayang, usually made of the buffalo skin, and was colored, and it was aku boleh lihat. So it's very detailed. Okay, let me ask. Yeah. It is very detailed. You can see the details, yeah, here. You can see very details of wayang. We call it wayang kulit. It's the leather puppets. Ini siapa, Pak? This is character of
Buma Narkoso.
Buma Narkoso. Okay, usually we have the performance. The performance will last about whole evening. Yeah, they started at 8 in the evening and then finish in 4 or 5 in the morning. It's a very long performance. Okay. Some of the paintings, and this is the Islamic calligraphy, yeah, with the word Allah in the middle, or the God, name of their gods. And it's the batik paintings of the puppets. Okay. Matur nuwun, Pak. There's a bakery an old one from 1929, yeah, but it was closed. And this is like a famous for 1935. This is the bakery, but it was closed. And the way they make their bread is still an old way. I mean, they didn't use the what is it, the flouring agent that makes it more fluffy. Yeah, but it's a very good bread for us, for the local like it very much. But during the pandemic has changed most of the things here, although some of us are getting back to our feet for this. And you can see this is the roof here, the Chinese influence roof. Okay, let's cross the street. We go to the other side. So this is the north-south important street in Yogyakarta, yeah. And in between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., the street has become a full pedestrians area. So there's no car, no motorbike can go through this street. This one is similar to those in Singapore, yeah, in Kampung Glam, with the tiny but tall wooden windows. And here's the gate, the Chinatown gate. Okay, this is our horse car. Our horse is quite tiny, but he's very strong, coming from the eastern part of Indonesia. Yeah, at that time back in 1750, 17 centuries, a horse is part of the commodities that usually given to the king by the people as a symbol that they are a peace symbol. Yeah, the peace symbol. Because the kingdom at that time, the Yogyakarta kingdom at that time is very strong. Even the Dutch has to think how to minimize the power. Yeah, because at that time, Yogyakarta is kind of like the only kingdom in Indonesia who doesn't want to work together with the Dutch in the tradings. Yeah, we tried to contact the British and the Portuguese. So we try at that time we tried to avoid the Dutch, but so that the Dutch has to do to maintain their monopoly for the tradings in Indonesia. At that time, it was called Indies, India Belanda, the Dutch Indies. At that time, it's called Dutch Indies. So they tried to minimize the power of the king at that time. So, for example, like the king number 2, who was very strong, was tried to be exiled. Yeah, and then here after replaced by his nephew, the king number 2 was actually returned to the throne after they have some fights or battles with the Dutch. So here's our version of the Chinese cat that usually we saw on the stores, in the stores, yeah, in the Chinese stores, they have the cat, the cat with the holding hand. So here's the other version, the Indonesian version of that. Okay. So here's another bakpia store over here. Okay, Joel, do you have any questions? Someone wants to ask me anything?
Did you, I don't know if I missed it. Did you talk about the political climate there in Yogyakarta?
In Yogyakarta, nationally, it's because our current president, Joko Widodo, is very strong, has a strong policy against corruption. So those people who enjoy the corruption money at that time was started to be disturbed, with this policy, because they are no longer allowed. They cannot not allowed, but they cannot gain their profit from their corruptive business. And then so they started to pay people to create some chaos. They started to spread the hoax, the incorrect informations about the government policies, and so and so. So nationally, we have a tension on that kind of things, and it's also become the concern of the kings, of the king here. So this province is governed by the king, and the royal family is of course, the royal family plays significant roles in the business and in the political uh, for the province, especially for the province, because they were like untouchable because of their royal status. But then some of us has started the movement, not to say or not to create chaos, but try to make it more democratic, because his father, the former king, really respect the people. He has a policy saying that the land or the throne or the crown is for the people, not for the royal family. So he served the people very, 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 very good, at that time. But his son, the current king, is actually a good one. He's a good person and good policies, and he's trying to put the glory of this kingdom back to where it is. The example is that they have a plan to work together with UNESCO to make this city as the heritage city. But sometimes during the process, it was conflict with the people needs. So he has to take unpopular decisions. That's with some people, they use it as the starting point to create the kind of like a silent protest for that. For example, that just recently, earlier this month, all the street vendors around here used to be full of the street vendors. They are relocated. They're centralized. They're centralized to this place. We call it Teras Malioboro. They're centralized here. It's actually good, right? He prepared this place for them to be centralized, so they can still selling their goods, their things. But for some people, for them, I mean, for the street vendors, it feels like they're being pushed away from the potential buyers. Zane, I think there's a Zane is raising his or her hand. Hello?
Zane, unmute yourself.
There we go. How did Indonesia become a large Muslim population? Or was there some conversion of an official, or how did it go from Hindu and Buddhism to
Yes.
Muslim?
Okay. So Islam is introduced to Indonesia back in around 1412, where the first Islamic or Muslim traders come to Java Island. Yeah. So they got a policy, or they got not policy, but they just want to do the traders with the fellow Muslim. So the Hindu people and the Buddhist people at that time, they have no options. Yeah, they either go away or they convert to Muslim, so they can do the tradings with those people. Actually, our Islam is actually not coming from Arab, but coming from Gujarat, India. The traders from Gujarat, India, who were Muslim, so they want to do it with a fellow Muslim, and then those who doesn't want to convert, they move to the east. Yeah, they move to the east. They built a kingdom in the east. If you've ever heard about Majapahit, yeah, and then later Majapahit was also occupied by the Muslim kingdom. And then so they move further to the east. They move to Bali. So in Bali, the majority people there are Hindu. Because of that, they protect themselves in the island. They don't want to get Muslim traders at that time. Now, later, because of the Suharto, if you ever heard Suharto,
Yes.
our former president who was president for more than 32 years, yeah, he has to find a way how to keep his power. One of it is to get the support from the Islamic groups in Indonesia. We have like two strong Islamic groups that support the government. So but one of those two is actually refused to support Suharto, and then so Suharto has to find a way how to get more votes for the people to maintain his presidential title or the power. And then so at that time, in around 1970s, he declares regulation stating that in Indonesia there are only 5 religions recognized, which is the first Islam, then Hindu, Buddha, Christian, and Catholic. So they only 5, and then those who doesn't or who with the local beliefs and they have to declare themselves as a Muslim if they want to get the ID card. Yeah, so that's because of that they want to get the ID card. They have to declare themselves as a Muslim, and then so the Muslim population become bigger. And the same thing happened. Like for example, if my father is a Catholic, I'm a Catholic, and my father is a Catholic, and he was the state employed by the state. Yeah, but even though he has a good reputation and a good work ethics, but his career is stopped because he's a Catholic, and his fellow who was a Muslim get a higher position than my father. So that's kind of example. And then some people who cannot stand of those discrimination, they choose to convert to Muslim, mostly in for that benefits, yeah, for that purpose. So actually, the number of the population who are Muslim is high, but are they the true Muslim? We cannot tell that because some of them still doing their old beliefs. Yeah, like the Javanese, we have our own beliefs that we put the offerings. Yeah, we do the offerings like the flowers and burn the what is it, the scent? Yeah, burn the the sand, and then for when we do the prayer. Yeah, so some of us on the ID are Muslim, but we are not really a Muslim. But because of that stories, the population, the number of population of the Muslim populations has made Indonesia the biggest country with the Muslim population. Okay. Did I answer your questions, Zain?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Is there
What
any other
percent of
question?
the people, I had a question about what percent are vaccinated?
Hi, it's Fran. I was just curious
had
where the
COVID.
hotels are located.
Sorry?
I was curious where the hotels are located in Jakarta, because when you pass through the streets, you never mentioned where tourists would stay.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Actually, on this street, there are two hotels. There are two hotels on the street, yeah. And then in the small alleys, like this one that we just passed, there are some hotels, like for 3 or 4 or 2 and 1-star hotels. There are many hotels around here because this is like where the used to be the tourists come. Yeah, but most of the tourists now, they go to the Prawiro Taman in the south of the palace, in the southern part of the palace, where they have like more hotels that is more welcome to the foreigners, to the tourist foreigners. So yeah, here we have 2 hotels. Actually, one of it is now converted to the isolation center. One of it is become the isolation center. It was bought by the government, local government, and then so it was to prevent the COVID. Yeah, for the people who got COVID, they have the isolation place there.
Mm,
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah. So to go around with this horse car, halo. Kalau muter sekali berapa Pak biasanya? Oh, okay. So it takes about 100,000 if you want to go to the palace, go around to the palace with this horse car. Yeah. And it's only 75,000 if you want to go not down to the palace. Okay. So here's the horse. Looks so sad. Okay. So here's the tamarind. The tamarind trees here is just replanted, yeah. Because at that time, there was a time when this area is full with the street vendors. So it's difficult for us to walk around to enjoy the situation.
What about education? Do the majority of the residents, when they graduate, do they go to college or do they stay
Yes,
in the
our our education system is more or less is like your system, yeah. We start with the elementary and then 6 years in elementary school, 6 years in the middle school, and then we call it after middle school is the high school, sorry. After the high school, we call it the university. Maybe it's college for you, yeah? So usually it's 4 years for the college, so for the university. So it was 16 years of education. Now for the elementary, for the state school, for the public school, they don't have to pay. We got it for free. Yeah, we got it for free, except if you want to have the private school. If you want to go to private school, mostly the Catholic school and also Islamic school, we have here for this public private school. Yeah, and most of the people here are well educated. At least they got education until the high school. Yeah, not all of us can go to the university, so that we also have like a high school for the like a polytechnic, but for the school for the high school. Yeah, so at around 19 years old, we finish the vocational school, and then we can go and get some job outside. But
What's the
Yogyakarta
main,
now is, sorry?
what's the main source of revenue into the country? What, is it tourism or is it manufacturing or are there natural resources? And
Yeah,
how do the people make a living? What,
for the country or for the city? For the country or for the city? Mostly for the Yogyakartas, mostly we get it from the arts, yeah, selling the arts products like batiks and also paintings and those souvenirs that we saw earlier. It was sold, it was made by the Yogyakartan, and then furnitures, the wooden furnitures is also made by us, yeah, and it was exported to other provinces and also other countries actually. But tourism in Yogyakarta is not as used to be not as much as the one in Bali. We just realized, in Yogyakarta, just realized that tourism can be a good source for us to generate income. So now, even the becak driver, yeah, the tricycle, and also
Is
the
there a
horse
lot
cart
of
driver,
crime?
they will get sorry.
Is there a lot
So
of
they
crime?
got the crime, not really, not so in Yogyakarta. It's can be considered as the calm city. So back to the story. The driver of the becaks and also the horse cart, they got a short course, yeah, on how to handle the tourists, because they used to be very naughty. I mean, like, we agree on certain price, but when they took us to that place, they ask for more, those kind of things, yeah. But now I can say, I'm confident to say that they are more educated. They know that they need the tourists, and they have to treat them with the honesty and what is it, the apa namanya, the happiness, yeah, the spirit of happiness. Okay, so the crime rate here is very low, even though we have like the youth, what's the word? Youth, not crime, but youth, what is it? Yeah, youth problems. Yeah, because some of us, of course, the narcotics and those substance still the problem in this country, and we try to diminish it. Yeah, but still a big problem for us. And then so young people who still the easiest target for them to. So that's the criminals is mostly because of they want to buy the substance. Okay.
I know you just showed us a bunch of streets that are near the palace, and I'm sure those are the streets that they take care of the best. I don't think I saw a piece of paper on the street. I never saw such clean streets. It was like they clean them 3 times a day. But getting further away from the palace area, is the city maintained at the same level, or does it drop off considerably as far as cleanliness, sanitation, etc.?
It takes years for the government to educate the people not to about the trash, yeah, that we have to keep the city clean. Even though in my residential area, like in my residential area, we have like a social kind of what's the word? A social, not punishment, but social awareness, that if I, like for example, have lots of frangipani, a lot of frangipani on my garden, and the leaves falls every minute. It makes the street dirty, yeah. But then with the social awareness, it makes me feel bad if I if I left my place dirty, or the lots of brown leaves in front of my house, so that I have to kind of like like to maintain the. So that's what happened in the residential area. City, and all around the city, we have a team that works at least twice a day to sweep and to clean the street, the place. Yeah. Even though we are still struggling with the what's the word? With the what's the word? To process the trash. Yeah. The trash processing, we're still struggling with that. Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions for Gaga? If not, I think, oh, Herb, unmute yourself. Herb Braidman, unmute. You've got to unmute, Herb. Oh, geez. I don't know who's worth the guiding.
I got it.
Hi.
I lost my mute button.
Oh,
Even though you
okay.
have a large Muslim population, do you have any problem with terrorists or any violence from that section of your population?
I think I must say that some of the people, the Muslim mostly, they become what's the word, extremist. Yeah, they become very strong with their beliefs, and then so they think that it is not good to have that they are the best one. So everybody has to convert to Islam, and we actually have lots of Indonesian who used to be an Indonesian in Syria and around Iran, Iraq, somewhere there, that they went there to join ISIS, and then they now ask the government if they can return home, but they actually has burned down their passport when they joined the ISIS. So yeah, we do have a strong Muslim extremist. Back in 1985, we have started in 1985. I must say, started in 1985. We do have like lots of bombing happen. Yeah, like the Borobudur Temple was bombed at that time with those extremists. Yeah, and then the churches around Indonesia. But then now our terror, anti-terror army is work very hard, and they start to they have now like the mapping, yeah, and then every day we can hear that they have successfully detained or put in jail the terrorists. So like in Jakarta, it was very peaceful. Yeah, it was very peaceful. It is very peaceful. My place is very peaceful.